Hi, I'm Karen.
Hi, Karen. I'm Keegan.
Nice to meet you. I'm from On Harvard Time, and we're so excited to have you here for this interview.
I'm excited to be here. I'm honored to be here. Yeah, thank you.
You performed with IGP.
I did.
Love the tie.
With the immediate gratification players. That's my tie.
Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you'd really like to do?
Well, I've always wanted to play the Prince of Denmark. And I've been talking to somebody at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater about doing that. It's one of those things where you go, well, that's terrifying. You should do it. So there's that. And then also, you know, we're about to embark upon this film career, both together as Key and Peele and separately. And I'm looking forward to doing that. But I also I would like to drift a little more into drama, which is where my training actually is. Mm-hmm. I just took this really wide, glorious 18-year detour into comedy. So I kind of would like to get back to my roots, as it were. Yeah.
Yeah. You said something really cool, which is that if something terrifies you, that is probably something
you should do it. If it's hard, you should do it. If it's terrifying, you should do it. And then I wish one day I'm going to learn the quote. There's some quote from Theodore Roosevelt about there are the people who criticize and there are people who do. And so even if you fail monumentally, you're still 100 times better than that other person who never did anything. They're so terrified that they wear their terror like shackles, and you should wear your terror like a cape.
Yeah.
And that's not Teddy Roosevelt. He didn't say that. That's not anywhere near as good as what he said. But
is that also like the what you use when you're trying to figure out which project you want to work on? Because I'm guessing you probably get a lot of offers.
That is one of the criteria. Mm-hmm. And the other criteria really for me is, even in a drama, is saying, can I have fun? Am I going to be able to devour the role? Or sometimes it's okay if the role devours you a little bit. If there's potential for that to happen, then I'm drawn to it.
As an accomplished and successful comedian yourself, what kind of tips or advice would you give to people who are aspiring comedy writers and performers?
I would say the first thing is it's all about the Hamburg effect. It's all about 10,000 hours. Get your 10,000 hours in, because then it'll feel. There's a great point in your life that can happen, that happened to me, where you get to a place where you do your 10,000 hours, and you're also still excited about the work. So the learning part's exciting, but there's this really lovely sweet spot where you know how to do the work and you're enjoying the work. Like with Jordan, my partner never stops thinking about comedy. He's never not thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it just makes him a better comedian every day. And he's already so transcendent as a comedian. He's the best comedy writer I've ever met, because it's all he thinks about. Watch movies. Another tip is watch comedy movies and figure out what about the movies worked and what didn't work and why didn't it work. So it takes a little bit of the fun out of it, but then every now and again you're going to come across a movie that's enchanting, and no matter how much you dissect it, it won't make a difference. You'll always love it. So it won't ruin every movie. But ruining a few movies will behoove you.
Right.
If you walk and go, now see, why would they go there? Why would they do that? You know, I do it even when I'm on a plane. I'm on the plane watching the Delta Airlines video, going, there's no context for that. Why is that? And then I hear someone laughing, and why is she laughing in 12B? That's not, you know what I mean? So it's analyzing things as you look at them, and just become a student as much as you become a fan of comedy. And I really am a firm believer that osmosis starts to happen. Yeah. So yeah.
What's your advice on the balance between comedy and then the real world to get more experiences?
Yeah, that's tough. You know, that's a hard thing. I think that's why people have to take vacations. You have to take vacations, and a vacation can be anything. A vacation could be going to do an activity with a family member, like going to work with a family member. Like if I'm going to go to my uncle-in-law's wood shop, that's good for me. I don't know anything about making chairs, but it's good for me to learn that, because I can glean comedy from him giving me the specifics of how to make a chessboard or a table or a chair. Or if you're in the city and you're on the T and you strike up a conversation with somebody, you go, so what is it that you do for a living? Or like on the plane, I talk to the person about what they do for a living and go, Oh, I didn't know that. So then you're the guy that does the thing. Oh, yeah. Well, then, of course, there's this law. And then they passed that to that. Now, these ordinances. And then you should be writing all of that down.
Yeah.
You should be writing all of that down. So everybody you meet is... Everybody you encounter. I used to say, everybody I'd see, I'm like, everybody's making fun of that strange person over there. That person's going to win me a Tony. That person. So you have to be a student of life.
That's really cool. Are there any like upcoming projects that you're excited about?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned earlier about the film.
Right.
It's a film that Jordan and I are doing, and it looks right now we'll be shooting it in mid-April. Starting to shoot it in mid-April. It's called Keanu, and it's a Key and Peele movie. It's not a sketch movie. It's a narrative film about two cousins who have to save a cat. So I have to save a kitten.
So it sounds kind of like a sketch, but
really long, like a 96-minute sketch, with really funny ups and downs in it. And then in July, I'll be going back to another television show that I'm on called Playing House. Mm-hmm. That's on USA. And then and in August, a new show that's going to be airing on TBS that I'm really excited about called Angie Tribeca. That stars Harvard alum Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
And she's the star of it, and it's a real kind of great kind of classic. I don't know if you guys know the show Police Squad, but Police Squad was the show that inspired the Naked Gun movies. So it's that kind of broad, fun, zany comedy. And you just don't see that on TV anymore. I think the biggest project I'm looking forward to is taking my wife on a legitimate vacation, which I haven't done in 8 years. So yeah.
Classes can wait. You're on Harvard time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, can we do one more where you say it? You say classes can wait, and you say
you
you're on
got
Harvard time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Classes can wait.
You're on Harvard time.